I'm out here taking in the morning as I drink my coffee. We had a thunderstorm roll through last night that was actually pretty nice. Thunderstorms kind of break up the monotony, especially around here where it's so dry. Some people might get tired of storms, not me, because we don't get many of them. Well, what's up today? Celebrity distractions in the news yesterday with Dolly Parton news. And I never listened to country music, not really. I mean, I've known of some country artists here and there, of course, but I don't really listen to country music. I've always been a heavy metal kind of guy. And I see people on the internet, oh my gosh, we've lost such a icon and this and that and the other. Okay. It's just more of that celebrity worship. And that's the mentality of so many people. They follow these people like they are gods or something. I mean, we're talking about an obsession with celebrities. But that's an element of the hive mind, of course. Whether it's being obsessed with performers, entertainers, politicians, anybody out there on the world stage that gets all of this attention. It's all just distraction. Here comes the train. And these distractions take away from the essence, of the people that get hooked into it. In other words, I mean, people will see something in the news and have their energy sucked away into it. In a way. I mean, it's like these absurd obsessions just take people's energy away from them. Same thing with a rock concert. And I didn't realize back in the day just how much, energy that extracts from people. You have several thousand people at a rock concert, let's say, and Motley Crue's up on the stage, or just whoever, and everybody is just rah, 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 They have their Bic lighters out. Well, they had their Bic lighters out back in the 80s. Nowadays, it's cell phones. So, back in the day, things were a lot better. You pulled out the Bic lighter for the, when they would play what are they called? The ballads, the rock ballads, and everybody would get out and sway to the rock ballad with their Bic lighter. Just whatever, And, of course, you get a whiff of marijuana that comes across your nose. Somebody lights up a reefer. I haven't been to a rock concert in quite a long time. But, and I'm sure I would enjoy going again. But there again, I mean, you really do. You give your energy away to whoever's on the stage. It's all kind of bizarre, but it is a fact. So when people see something in the news, you know, a death of a celebrity, it just goes viral all over the internet. Whatever platform you're on, you're going to see it, you know. Meanwhile, you know, Joe Blow could die out here of, you know, in a train wreck, and you know they're just gonna scoop him off the road, and nobody ever knows. Might get 2 seconds on the news or something, you know, maybe not even that. That's how it is for most people, unless you're, you know, further up the pyramid. If you're at the bottom of the pyramid, you might not even get your name mentioned in the paper. There was an interesting story out there of a flight attendant, and she made news headlines by getting thrown off a balcony. So see, there is ways you can do it and get more attention. So perhaps if you're a, you know, somewhat attractive flight attendant, and she was like 50, and she was still an attractive woman, and apparently went to Hawaii and had a layover or whatever, you know, and so she was staying in a hotel and ended up flying off the balcony at some point. Now that looks really suspicious. I mean, not many people are going to go and just throw themselves off a balcony, or even, you know, I'm afraid of heights, especially in places like that. I don't even get too near the rails because I'm not sure if the rails are going to hold, you know. You might lean on that thing and fall over. Probably not, but, you know, did she get inebriated at the bar and go out there and fall over, or did she meet somebody that, in the bar that is, that followed her back to the room? That happens. I've known women, because they've told me that they've met somebody at the bar and, you know, in a hotel situation like that, and of course expectations run high, right? You know, the guy's thinking, yeah, I'm going to get a piece tonight if I can just get enough alcohol down this woman, and we can end up back in her room. But say the woman, you know, gets some cold feet and decides that she just needs to go back to the room and not have any company, and then the guy figures out, you know, what room she's in, and, you know, and then it's time to go stalk her. And I've actually heard these stories, so I don't know if that's what happened there. You never know in this crazy matrix what can happen. That's why it's always probably best to be vigilant about your surroundings, which most people are not. They assume that situations and environments are safe, which was a really a stupid thing, especially on a woman's part, and an attractive woman at that. Kind of being naive, but whatever. But, you know, she got her day of fame, or whatever, or however long it, you know, that story lasts in the news until they move on to somebody else, move on to a, you know, some other story. There's a lot of stories out there about things like that, or missing people, or whatever, you know. Isn't that kind of odd? How does anybody go missing these days? Please tell me. I mean, there's a camera on every street corner. Everybody has a cell phone camera and everybody's filming each other. So how does anybody really go missing? I mean, and then the FBI can't find them, and everybody's looking for them, and I mean, I mean, there's surveillance cameras everywhere and satellites in the sky, and how does anybody go missing, really? I mean, if they wanted to find somebody, they could. They just got to turn on the satellite up there, and it's orbiting. One of Elon Musk's multiple satellites that's up there, and just find you. They could probably find you underground if they wanted to. So that the notion that we can't find somebody, that really just doesn't fly with me. Something else is up with that. Somebody knows something. Surveillance cameras everywhere. Remember that song, Eye in the Sky? No, not Eye in the Sky. Was it Eye in the Electric Eye. Electric Eye. We've got how'd that song go? Electric Eye. It was a Judas Priest song. Electric Eye in the Sky. I can't remember how that went. We zoom in on you. There's nothing you can do. You're always under surveillance. And hell, that was 1982. Hello. See, Judas Priest was trying to tell you there's a surveillance system in place. We zoom into you, but you don't know we're there. We keep the country clean. Da na 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 na. Da na na na. The electric eye. Yeah, this stupid ass Matrix, man. Well, anyway. I don't know what I wanted to talk about this morning. I was just rambling on. I'm trying to figure out the day like anybody else. Figuring out some ways to make income. And I've decided that I just want to work for myself, because I just don't think that I can work for other people, because there again, it's this thing where you have to constantly be reporting to somebody about where you are, what you're doing. I mean, it's just more freaking surveillance, really. And the last job I had was just like that. I'm like, I don't want to have to tell this person every time I go to the bathroom. And it was almost that bad. No thanks. Not for me. So it becomes incumbent upon me to go try to create some momentum to get some income coming in, just using the education and the background that I have. I mean, that's where it really is now for me. I have a lot of years of work experience in a particular field, and I don't really feel like changing, changing my profession, or because if your work experience is in a certain area, I've found that it's going to be very difficult to go over into a different field, because your experience and background is not going to be in alignment to what they're looking for. And so when you apply on Indeed or whatever the hell you're using, you're going to find that you get these responses. You don't qualify because X, Y, or Z, because you don't have the experience that job is requiring, or whatever. The only other thing I could think of if I really, really wanted to change, switch gears, would be to go to CDL school, um, and probably just drive a dump truck, or a waste truck. Actually, maybe. This one guy was telling me that he went to. Well, hi, Cassie. Here comes Cassie. Hi, Cass. You want to come up here? You want to come up here with me? Jump up there. There you go. There, I cleared off a seat for you. Looks like that seat has issues. You want to come up here with me? All right. Well, whatever. Hang out with me. That's fine. um, like I said, go to CDL school. Just do something simple. Take people's trash to the dump. Like I said, I knew somebody who actually did that. Went to CDL school and went to work for one of those places, and that's what he does. I mean, he drives around, picks up those large containers, and gets that go on a big truck, and he just hauls it off to the dump. Does it all day, and probably just really enjoys his job. He really seemed to. He really seemed to just enjoy what he did, and gets plenty of hours. Makes about 75 grand a year, which is plenty. I don't, some people probably don't think that's a lot of money, but I mean, it depends on what all you're wanting in life. I mean, if you have all these things you need, if you're materialistic or whatever, well, you probably need more money than that. If you just want to, put some food on the table, have some simple pleasures, a beer here and there or whatever, then that's fine. I'm a simple kind of guy. I don't look for a lot out of this existence other than just to make it through this existence. I do not want to live on the streets. I mean, so therefore you have to do what you got to do, hustle a little bit where you gotta, but at the same time not let your whole soul just be sucked out of you because of it. And I think that's where I'm at. But anyway, well, I hope everybody's having a great day. I could have opened maybe a dog kenneling business. There's another one. I mean, but that requires getting a license, probably getting some malpractice insurance, even for a dog business, and just all the things you have to do to open a business, no matter what it is. You have to probably go through these things, even if it's just mowing lawns. There's another one right there. You could get spend some money, get some lawn mowers, and go out there and make a living. But it just depends on if you like manual labor. So anyway, what else? What else could we talk about this morning? I don't even know. I don't know. I experience different moods from day to day. It just kind of depends, some things I talk about on one day, and I'm like not there, in that mind space the next. But anyway, all right. Well, that's about 20 minutes of rambling, and hope y'all are figuring it out as you go along. Talk to you later.